Today, we're talking about cats. No, not those cats. No, not him either.
Exit stage left.
Yes, all of you, please just get out because none of you are the cats we're looking for. Today, we're talking about Cats, the musical. It is the 5th longest running Broadway musical and the 8th longest running in London's West End. And it doesn't feature any actual cats. Yeah, I know. Sorry.
We choose to go to the moon.
Right now, you like me.
Practice? We're talking about practice, man.
Welcome to 5-Minute Trivia, where we're making the world smarter 5 minutes at a time. I'm your host, R.M. Zubairi. Cats the Musical debuted in 1981 in London and 1982 on Broadway, but the source material is actually a lot older and comes from the poetry of a man named T.S. Eliot. Thomas Stearns Eliot was a modernist poet originally born in St. Louis, but relocated to England permanently at 25. He wrote poems like The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, The Wasteland, and The Hollow Men.
This is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but a whimper.
That was the actor Jeremy Irons, who also played a famous cat called Scar in The Lion King, reading one of the most famous lines of poetry, which is the final stanza of The Hollow Men. T.S. Eliot also won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1948, but before he did that, he wrote Old Possum's Guide to Practical Cats. It was a collection of poems that he included in letters to his godchildren. Old Possum was the name Eliot gave himself as the narrator. They were collected and published in 1939. The thing about Old Possum's Guide to Practical Cats is that there really isn't anything resembling a story. It's a set of individual poems that just name various cats like Growltiger, Rum-Tum-Tugger, Skimbleshanks, and Mr. Mistoffelees, and then describe them. For example, here's T.S. Eliot, Old Possum himself, reading Rum-Tum-Tugger.
The Rum-Tum-Tugger is a curious cat. If you offer him pheasant, he would rather have grouse. If you put him in a house, he would much prefer a flat. If you put him in a flat, then he'd rather have a house. If you set him on a mouse, then he only wants a rat. If you set him on a rat, then he'd rather chase a mouse. Yes, the Rum-Tum-Tugger is a curious cat.
Okay, so how did that get turned into a Broadway musical? So there is a certain musical quality to these poems. In fact, setting them to music seemed to be a pastime for a lot of people in England in the 1950s. One random English composer made a spoken orchestral work and called it Practical Cats.
The naming of cats is a difficult matter. It isn't just one of your holiday games. You may think at first I'm as mad as a hatter when I tell you a cat must have 3 different names. First of all, there's the name that the family use daily, such as Peter, Augustus, Alonzo, or James, such as Victor, or Jonathan, George, or Bill Bailey. All of them sensible, everyday names.
At about the same time, a different random English composer did the same thing and called it 2 Practical Cats. So take that, random English composer number 1. And then along came a guy named Andrew Lloyd Webber. You know, Phantom of the Opera, Jesus Christ Superstar, Evita. The New York Times called him the most commercially successful composer in history, and he was knighted in 1992. So take that, both random English composers. Andrew Lloyd Webber was already successful by the time he decided to turn T.S. Eliot's book into a theater production. Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat and Jesus Christ Superstar were both nominated for nearly every Tony Award when they came out, and Evita won the Best Musical Tony. Cats was something different. It was a grand-scale, visually extravagant production with a massive budget that prioritized spectacle over story. It kind of had to because there was no story. Cats pioneered the megamusical, which is the theater equivalent of a blockbuster movie. It ran so that Les Mis, Phantom, and Wicked could sprint. The famous Cat's Eye logo that served as the face of the show became the first globally marketed logo in musical theater history. Note for trivia night, in the 1980s, the official Cats t-shirt was the second best-selling t-shirt in the world. Number 1, all those shirts that said Hard Rock Cafe. Since we've just compared mega musicals like Cats to blockbuster movies, we probably do need to mention the Cats movie. In 2019, a bomb of a movie adaptation was made with a bunch of stars like Judi Dench, Idris Elba, and Taylor Swift. All you really need to know is that it so traumatized Andrew Lloyd Webber that he got a therapy dog. But for now, it is the only way to see Cats since the Broadway run ended in 2000. But because we here at 5 Minute Trivia don't want to traumatize you, we recommend waiting until Cats, the Jellicle Ball, makes its Broadway debut in 2026. It's a new reimagined production that will still use Andrew Lloyd Webber's original score, along with newer musical elements like house and rap. But just like the old show, still no real cats. I know, sorry again, but that's all for this week. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on 5 Minute Trivia.